Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is The Interview. And today, my very special guest will be exposing all of his junk and stuff. It is PoleVault. We're going to kick off with a track called Drowning, featuring Sunshine Archer. Let's Ode. Well, that caught me off guard, didn't it? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Jade. This is The Interview. It happens every week. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to appear. Sometimes it's wild, sometimes unpredictable, sometimes it's boring. Who knows what's going to happen? But today it's going to be very unpredictable, I expect. You're doing well out there. I'm doing okay. I've just woken up. I've got a coffee in hand. But I'm going to bring it down just for a second because I just need to say this. I woke up today to some really terrible news, as most people did. David Lynch passed away. Sucks. Man, I just want to say, on record, on video, there's a few things in life that make me happy. Mr. Bungle, Faith No More, David Lynch. And, yeah, I'm never going to see a new film out of David Lynch again. Really shitty. Sucks. But today I think I'm going to have a bit of a marathon. Might go back and watch Wild at Heart or something like that, maybe Blue Velvet, and get my David Lynch on, because that dude was an incredibly talented, inspiring, unique, bizarre artist who, will be sadly missed, and there will never be another David Lynch. But there will be forever and a day my guest that I have on the show today. Unique, absolutely. Bizarre, sometimes. Full of junk and stuff, yes indeed. A very awesome musician, very funny guy, and very entertaining. Always, we have our very special guest today, PoleVault, and I can't wait to find out why that name exists. So let's bring him on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, PoleVault. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. I love the mood lighting. Yeah, your mic's working.
It's because I got disco fever.
You're right, disco fever. So, PoleVault, welcome to the show. It's so nice to have you here. Are you relaxed?
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Okay.
Don't fart, please.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
All right, we good? Do you need some soothing music to calm you down?
Ooh,
Hey.
yeah. I like that.
PoleVault, I need to ask you this question to kick things off.
Sure.
What the fuck does PoleVault? What is a PoleVault? Why are you PoleVault? What's PoleVault?
Well, here's the thing, and we were talking about it last night. There was, at the time that I was out, there was like Tool, Clutch, Prong, and my name was supposed to be Pole, and even the logo was a skull on a pole, and it was all dark and stuff. And but the YouTube site was the PoleVault. It's where I stored my music. But the listeners just kept calling me PoleVault. And it was kind of a twist on an old Cheech and Chong joke, where you keep your pole, man. I keep it in my PoleVault, And they just kept on calling me PoleVault. And the weird thing is, after I just went with it and said, okay, I'm PoleVault now, I've did this to myself. Now everybody calls me Pole, and I'm like, oh, okay.
But it's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like we were discussing this yesterday. You release an album, and the suckiest song on the album, the song you hate the most, you go, this is just filler. Everyone goes, I love that song, the mostest in the worldest. And you go, fuck you.
Yeah, that's like the last song I put out, I wasn't that jazzed by, and it took me a long time working on it, and I was just polishing it. I just felt like I was polishing a turd, and everybody just came up and was like, wow, this is so profound, and it's about life and death and all this. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was about me being crazy. Oh, okay. But that's the cool thing. And like some of my influences is Pink Floyd, and I think a lot of people who listen to like Pink Floyd, you can ask 10 different people after hearing one of their songs, and they will all tell you it means something else to them. And that's why I kind of try to keep it open.
Yeah, I tried to imagine what could be the possible reason, but the mind can only bend so far, and I just kept going back to the sport. And I was thinking maybe he was an Olympic pole vault.
Maybe I was.
Well,
I didn't even have a pole. I was just hands free.
You were just vaulting
right over the bar. Yeah, right.
And I'm sure other people were wondering about this too. And those people are here in the chat with us right now. 25 of you wonderful bodies. Good to see you. I will shout names out as we do in about 15 minutes time after the second song we normally do it. So thank you all. We love you. We see you. I will be putting your comments up on the screen and all of that jazz. PoleVault, what does music mean to you?
This is a thing goes back to, I guess it was my freshman year in high school. My teacher kind of explained it to me the best. I was making stuff in art class, and she was like, "Look, if you can transfer a feeling, if music makes you feel, or whatever art you're doing, if you can make them feel mad, happy, sad, whatever, if you can transfer a feeling with your art, then you've successfully succeeded." And then she was like, "Hey, Mr. Vault, is that a bong?" I'm like, "No, it's a vase with a hole in it."
That sounds like an ugly bong.
Well, no, it had a hole in it. To tell you the truth,
Most of them.
it was a horse. It was a horse that I told her was a lamp. I didn't tell her it was a vase. I told her it was a lamp, but it was a horse, and it was quite apparently a bong. So,
Would you say in
the
your
carb was
music,
its asshole.
would you say your music making is inspired by the bong?
Yeah, and it is, and I don't necessarily have to be on the bong anymore to make that music, but I do like my music to come through and make you feel like you're floating, or make you feel a sense of dread or whatever. But you get, I like to, I may have smoked marijuana before in my life, maybe,
Yes.
and and I talked to my brothers today, and I've talked to my ex bandmates because I was in a metal band, and they're like, "Dude, this doesn't sound like Metallica or Motley Crue, dude." I'm like, yeah, but y'all still drinking like whiskey straight all the time, and I know it's not for this party, but if y'all were at a weed party, this would be really good music. Yeah.
So, music means to you bongs.
Well, I like to feel, and I know this is going to be a little out there, but I like to feel like it's like an out of body experience.
Yes.
And I think I felt it one day. I was listening to Sisters of Mercy laying on the floor in my living room, and I'd gotten way too high, and I just felt like I was floating around the room listening to that, the Sisters of Mercy, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'd like to try to do that.
They're a great band too.
Yeah.
Very great band.
And I had one guy write me an email, and it was so inspiring to me. He was like, "Dude, I'm in a grow room in Australia, man, for your neck of the woods." And he's like, "I'm in a grow room in Australia, and I was listening to your first album, and dude, I just lost my shit." And he hadn't wrote me back again or anything, and I was like, "Wow, I was just that to that dude." That's kind of cool.
I think he's probably in jail now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, but I think if back when we were young and we partied a little too much, every now and then, maybe still a little bit sometimes now, there's that music that came across. I remember listening to Screaming for Vengeance and kind of just totally losing my mind and stuff. And I was like, wow, because the music was actually making me feel something and was enhancing the feeling that I was on. And now I don't even have, I'm so old and out of it, I don't even have to be high to feel that way anymore. It's like extra cheap.
You've reached a new level of new level.
That's right. And I feel dizzy just at random times.
Wow.
It's like,
have you seen a
I
doctor
used to have to
about
drink
that?
to do that. Yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
It's free.
As a baby pole vault, the little tiny pole vault, now I have that image in my head. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Hang on, no, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Well, I had to remind you, and I've told a lot of people, baby pole vault was way, way dirtier than grown pole vault.
Well, most babies are dirty.
Yeah. Well, I used to say some. I was the kid that told the dirty jokes at school.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I was telling
so
somebody
not much has changed.
I was telling somebody, I think, one of my favorite things as a young pole vault is like when they would do the backward skate at the skating rink, because we didn't have internet and stuff back then, and like and then like maybe one of the girls would fall and cry and be like, little pole vault was like, wow, that's like what she looks like when she's doing it. So like young pole vault was like not so well. Everybody be like, "Oh my God, Cindy, are you okay?" And I'd be like, "No, Cindy, go with it. Go with it, Cindy.
I'm nearly there.
Yeah.
Finish me off, Cindy.
It didn't take long back then.
Oh, God. Oh, well, we are in new territory here already. Well, when you were baby, young pole vault, whatever age, I don't really care.
Yes.
Do you recall the music that was played in your household by the parental pole vaulters?
Yes.
And
Oak
who
Ridge
were some of
Boys
these
and
artists?
Statler Brothers.
Who?
The Oak Ridge Boys and Statler Brothers. I don't have anything at all. Watching flowers on the wall, sitting here watching Captain Kangaroo. You know that song or something? And it was like that stuff. Boom chicka meow meow.
Right.
And my dad was very heavy into the church, so it was always like, really like super clean. Matter of fact, he was the standby preacher in the town, and so I was known as like the preacher's son, which for some reason you would thought that
he's a son of a preacher man.
Yeah, some people might have thought that I was straight, would have been more straight laced, but everybody like called my dad. You know what he's over here doing right now? He's popping wheelies on his Evel Knievel bicycle in the middle of the road.
So,
like,
hang on,
what the hell, lady?
How does a stand-in preacher work? Is there like do they tag like in wrestling?
Okay. So when the preacher would go to another town or something like that, my dad was the one who would get up and like give the sermon at that time, and and pass his life views through somehow twisting it into the word of the Bible, and as one will do. Let me tell you why men don't have long hair and women have long hair, and it's in the Bible somewhere. I know it, and I'm gonna find it.
It is like that, isn't it? It is like that. I'm gonna find. Here's a reason for this arbitrary thing, and it's somewhere in there. Even if it's not.
Yeah.
Even if it's not fully written in there, we will make it fit. It's like putting.
This is what they meant by And I was like, but Samson had long hair, Dad. Don't you blaspheme. How dare you? That was God hair.
There is a difference. There is a difference. God hair and normal hair. Didn't Jesus have long hair as well?
No, it's a little known fact.
Right.
He really had short hair, and that vision that you see is really King David and all this stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, and he was olive colored.
Yeah.
Olive complected. Sorry, is that have I gone too far?
He was good on that. But for some reason, hair was where he drew the line on everything.
Right. Yeah.
And it was the 70s.
Man, when I moved to a country town in about what was it, 1998 or something like that, with my partner. We moved to a country town in Queensland, and the first day we got there, I had really long hair. And on the first day we lived there, a car drove past as I was walking to the shops, and a hoon, we call them here, a hoon, they yelled out from the window, "Long-haired faggot, you die tonight." And that was the first thing I ever heard from anybody in that town. And I was like,
kind of had the same thing happen to me, but the guy yelled out the window, and he was coming up from behind me, and he was like, "Hot ass, baby." and then he looked at me and was like, "Oh, dude."
If it was a country town, he probably did mean it anyway. So
yeah. Well, I did have a hot ass. I'm pretty proud of it now.
Well, apparently, I think there's people who've seen it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was an accident.
Do you want to tell us about the day that PoleVault showed his ass to everybody on YouTube?
It could probably happen right now, but I just turned around to get my guitar. And when you sit here for a while and my pants change sizes by what season it is, right? It's not me that's changing sizes, but so they're a little tight on me. I unbuttoned the top button and loosened my belt and turned around to get my guitar. They're like, "Play guitar, Pole, I'll play it." I'm like, and I'm a sucker. That guy, you dare me to do stuff, I do it. So I turn around and stand up to pick up my guitar, and my ass just hangs out. And it was a little crazy. And YouTube let that slide, which was crazy because I twerked for I was in Valerie's channel, and they were like, "Look, you're always saying you're dancing to Valerie's songs, but we want to see a picture of it, or a video of it, or it didn't happen." And I just twerked, and they set it to 21 and up. I was so proud. I was like, "Wow." I still have it. I still have the hot ass. So, you know.
Do you want to?
No. I say that for my
Right.
OnlyFans now, and jungle gym climbing.
Are you doing you doing okay, Sunshine?
Oh, she loves it when I do these.
She's already written in the chat once. Oh Lord.
Hey, well, the thing is every time I do a show, I just hang my head because I think the last show was about peanut butter, and they were like, "Please stick a peanut butter reference into the song." And I was like, it was a Door song. And I was like, the time to hesitate is through. Now I'm gonna stick it in your doo doo. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say at the time. And the next morning, I'm just like, "So, did you see the show last night?" She's like, "I watched a little bit of it." She was still smiling. I'm like, "Oh, no need to watch the whole thing. Don't, don't, don't."
So
She's like, "You know what it makes me look like when you say those things?
we're gonna
I
have
want
a
people to think. I don't want people to think that's you're running around doing all this shit you're saying to me." I'm like, "Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that
win.
later on. We're gonna actually have a poll on that. Speaking of, we're gonna have a pole vault. We're gonna have a poll while pole vaults on the show. We have to have a poll later on.
It
So,
happens.
did the music that was played in your household, did it affect your love of music and the style of music that you make now?
Um, mm, um, I really don't. I just don't think I really relate to the Statler brothers and Oak Ridge boys that much. Maybe a little, like I said, maybe a little boom chicka mau mau, and it, every now boom chicka mau mau. But that was the only two bands that was played
Really?
constantly in my house. Yes.
Nothing else? No.
Hey, they got a lot of material, Jade. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, you could listen to their
16
stuff for a
years of
week and
it.
never replay the same thing,
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Pole vault. Do you remember the first album that you purchased with your own little pole vault coinage?
Yeah.
Do tell.
It was Kiss Destroyer.
Oh.
And I actually, Jade, I pretty much made love to the album before I ever bought it. I mean, it went like a month of me mowing yards, and that's how cheap people were in that small town. I mean, I should have been able to buy the album with mowing one yard, but I mean, I had to mow a lot of yards to get enough for the Destroyer album. And it was in a drugstore in the little small town. And I would go and look at the album like
Oh,
nearly
yes.
on a every other day out. That's back, when you could in the picture, it was them on some bricks, flaming with flames in the background, and it was all cartoony. And I was like, "Oh my God, must have this." And the day I couldn't believe it, the drugstore guy was like, "Yeah, are you going to buy that thing? You just come in here and stare at it every day?" And I was like, it's today, brother. It's happening. It's happening. This is coming home with me." And I sat and listened to the music and stared at that like it was a video.
It's.
That picture.
I was the same. It is a fucking phenomenal picture, isn't it?
Yeah, and Love Gun was cool too. But that one, Love Gun had like naked chicks on the front, so I really liked that one. But Kiss Destroyer was just their pinnacle of what they were doing, I guess. And I seen them like a superhero group or something. It was just like, I was young. It was like 77 or something.
Yeah.
And
It's interesting with Kiss because I think the allure for me, I really loved them when I was young. But they always constantly teased that they're going to take their makeup off. We're going to take it off. We're going to take it off. We're going to, and then when they finally did, it was like, oh, this sucks now.
Yeah, that happened. Unmasked.
Yeah.
Just unmasked.
That was
Why'd you do that?
Well, they didn't. Well, remember they didn't do it. They teased it on Unmasked. Remember they had the video clip for Shandy. And at the end, they leave the recording studio or whatever, and they got suits on, and the paparazzi come and take photos, and they turn around, they still got their makeup on. So they teased it, but as soon as they took it off, it was like, oh man, they're so boring now. Like, I don't care. I wish they never took it off and got skin diseases from it.
But I think it happened anyways. I mean, they certainly didn't look the way I thought they would.
No, they didn't, did they? They just
especially Peter Criss. Peter Criss ended up looking like a turtle or something, which is fine. There's female turtles out there, but
turtle.
Yeah. But
turtle.
I was like, and I used to think Ace Frehley was just the bee's knees and stuff. And the thing about it was not knowing about their personal lives and their bullshit that they were really doing made them that much more. I made up what they were doing in my little young mind, and they weren't doing the stuff they were doing. They were freaking flying through space, and and as I grew up, I realized I was just a stupid little kid. But
remember the movie Kiss the Phantom of the Park?
I definitely do. I ran around in my underwear outside, and my mom was like, hey, little PoleVault, they're not running around in their underwear. They got tights on. And I'm like, no, that's their skin. I'm like, and she's like, no, that's not their skin. Oh, what is this tights you speak of?
Yeah, I had all the dolls. They had this thing. It was called Kiss Your Face Makeup. It was a little thing you got I used to go out to the library and stuff. My mum would like, you can't go out with Gene Simmons makeup on. I'm like, why not? Why can't I? I fucking can.
But how stupid did I look? Me and my two cousins, and there might even be one in the chat. We sat in a parking lot, and I went to go visit them in LA, and we got some trash cans and made some like cardboard guitars, and we were standing in the parking lot with like towels wrapped around our neck in our underwear singing. And I mean, if you saw that now, you'd be like, wow, those kids have gotten into the paint or something. It's got them.
I think most kids are into paint these days, or so it seems anyway.
You wouldn't see that in a million years. And I guess you probably didn't see it a lot back then, but I hope that people were like, oh, those kids are pretending like they're Kiss. Not like they just broke out of Chad's basement or something.
Yeah, well, Chad, you need a stronger lock, for God's sake. Keep it in the dark. God. What about the first album that was given to you as a gift? Because sometimes it's an unwanted. Sometimes you get music, and you're like, "Oh wow, somebody bought me music," and then you go, "Oh, I didn't really want that music."
It was a AC/DC record for those about to rock, and my best friend actually stole it from the store and then gave it to me for a birthday present. But I mean, man, that's really nice. I was thinking about the other day. I was like, man, he was really, because he had a lot of money, but I was like, well, he's really being a cheap ass. But you know what? Now that I'm older, I'm like, that son of a bitch put it on the line for me.
He risked the boys' home for you.
Right. That was really nice. I appreciate that.
You should. Do you still have his contact details?
No.
You got to find him. He's on Facebook somewhere, waiting to tell you that fucking we should hook up.
We were at a party, and he started cutting his arm up with a beer bottle, and I was like, you just run a good party, man. I just I can't with you anymore, dude.
Yeah.
And it was really weird, the whole situation, because he it was back in the Black Sabbath days, and he had gotten like an upside down cross put on him, and some chick was like, "Oh, you're going to hell for sure for that," and he was like, "Oh, well, here," and I'm like, "Oh man, now we're all gonna have to go to somewhere else to party." You know,
Have you ever carved anything into your own skin just for fun? No.
You know,
What a question.
wow, I didn't think that was coming.
Neither did I. Now I regret asking
But
it.
I think one time I got something burned into me, you know.
Right.
But it went away, and it's that scarification shit, and back in that was more of a '90s thing when we were in the band.
Yes.
I was getting tattoos and stuff, and it was something I instantly regretted. I mean, as soon as it touched me, I was like, "That's stupid."
Do you have tattoos?
Yeah, I got tattoos.
Oh,
Um, and most of them are naked ladies and stuff, you know.
right. Hey, hang on.
Lady.
Hey, nice.
And I'm thinking about getting that turned into a pole vault girl. And that song "Slipping Away" in Margaritaville?
Mm.
You know, she's a real beauty, a Mexican cutie. How she got there, I hadn't a clue. I was drinking tequila, going to the tattoo shop. You know, what the hell, you know? Can you put one of those on me? And yeah, bad decisions were made a lot by young pole vault.
I think that's why these days when you go to get a tattoo, because tattoo parlors now are very fancy and they're very bougie, and now you've got to sign a declaration. I haven't been drinking at all now because of
Well, he was that way too, but he was like, you know what? You're a dumbass.
You've got money.
He really did. He was so mean to me. I'm like, oh man, like you're a dumbass. And he's like, I'll make you a deal. He's like, if you put it like somewhere where a shirt can cover it up, and a shirt can cover that up, I can go out in public and no one knows I have any tattoos. And I got one of let's see, right here, like I got one of a dragon. And
hey, that's cool.
It was the Aussie thing, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna have the whole dragon wrapping around my body and stuff, and I met Sunshine, and she's like, "This is where that stops," you know. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm so bullshitty. Like I was like at that time, and I will say this to you, Jade. I probably would not be doing music if it wasn't for like hot chicks, you know. And the tattoos went along with that too. I mean, come on, back in my day, I could play Breaking the Law. Dan. I was late at a party, boom. And I mean, I'm not talking that mid-grade stuff. I'm talking, middle high stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Breaking the Law, but
I was going to ask if you went the whole hog with Breaking the Law and Arseless Chaps, but of course you did.
Well, I think the worst I did was I was playing Breaking the Law with the motorcycle helmet on while springing off of a diving board over a swimming pool at a party where I'm not even going to go into the drugs that were probably going on at the party, but it was a little bit off the hook. But yeah. Music makes you kind of, so all the guys out there, if you didn't know it, that music thing makes you popular with with the ladies and stuff. But when I met Sunshine, it really gave me a good chance with the bands that I was in at the time, that I really started focusing on the music. I'm like, wow, I've been doing this for so long, I might as well keep on doing it. Oh my god. Yeah, we did. Yeah, and I was doing a lot of, I will say Sunshine probably kept me from going to prison and stuff. So there's that. I'm not even kidding you. And the thing is people would be like, what were you going to do? Like murder somebody or like commit a crime? No, it's just partying.
You don't seem like a murderer.
No. The cops usually like frown when you're like naked hanging out of a sunroof of a car or something. And it was just like that shit piling up. And I'm like, And Sunshine was like, well, you can just like stay at home and scream and run around naked. And I'm like, oh, you're so sweet.
Sunshine's just denying everything in the chat. I think she's been with you long enough to just deny everything. Do you want to see one of my first tattoos, PoleVault? You go. Okay, full screen.
Oh, that had to hurt so much.
It's my last name. No,
But
you know what?
but that had to hurt.
You know what? It didn't. It surprisingly didn't. So they put clamps on your mouth and pull your lip down, and they tattoo on the inside. But the thing is that it doesn't last long, right? Because your mouth is always growing and changing and cleaning itself and doing all that stuff. But she told me, as soon as you leave here, go and get some chips, some hot chips, and get with salt on it and let the salt sit on it, and it'll cure it in. And it's lasted, it hurt like fuck when I put the salt on it, let me tell you. But it cured it. And it's been in my mouth forever. Like most people's mouth tattoos drop out within a couple of years. This has been there for 15 years. 15 years.
Well, when they did get down close to my nipple, it lit me up a pretty good bit. I will tell you that.
Well,
that did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nipples.
Yeah.
Speaking of nipples, we're going to play our second song. This is, of course, called The Day It All Caved In, which I said I'd try and do segues. So, folks, kick back and relax. We'll say hello to you after this track. This is featuring Sunshine Archer as well. PoleVault, folks. The Day It All Caved In. Let's oja. What's the inspiration behind that PoleVault?
Well, it did fit into my records about the character Fisher, which is a character that is a main character that goes through most all my albums that are not named No Entry. But the thing about that is when I was a little PoleVault, we're going back to that one again. I had an 8-track of Boston, and it was like I hear my own song playing on the radio, and all this shit. And I would just dream of like hearing my own song on the radio. And me and Son, so I sent it into a show called Coast to Coast. I sent like 3 songs in, and they came back and they were like, shut up. We're going to play one of your songs. The other two songs, stick them up your ass, whatever. But
Wow.
don't call us. Don't call us. Don't call us. Don't contact us. We'll play one of your songs one of these days. And so you didn't know. And me and Sunshine, this Coast to Coast AM show comes on the radio at night. It's also on our phone, and we go to sleep listening to it. And I'm listening to it, and it's been nearly a year. And they're like, and here is Pole Vault from Texas, the day it all caved in. And I was like, Sunshine, wake up. And it was like, what? I'm gonna kill you. Wait, is this our song? And it was really weird hearing our song on the radio playing, and that was one of my bucket list in my life. So nailed it.
Is that a common thing that Sunshine says, or you say, Sunshine, wake up?
Yeah, kind of sometimes. She sleeps so hard. Okay. She sleeps very hard, and you can and I know better than to wake her up and have a conversation with her, because the next day she will not remember.
Right.
So, when I go to bed, sometimes everybody laughs about it, and I'll be like, Sunshine, I'll get it. I'll grab her and go, ah! And then I'll lay down and be, like Three Stooges. And she'll be like, what's wrong? I'll be like, hey, leave me alone. You're waking me up and stuff. And she'll be like, huh? I'm sorry.
I have a feeling after today, I'm going to have Sunshine on to get a rebuttal from all of this.
She's a delicate flower. She's very,
it's
very
not what you told me
shy.
off air.
Yeah. No, but okay. When I say, she said, shut up, asshole. what she might have really said is like, you're being very rude, and I need you to be quiet right now.
Right.
Okay, but which means the same thing to me. This is what I'm hearing. Charlie Brown.
It's a separate language. Thank you, G May, for the kind super chat. You rock. He says, top shelf interview and artist. You are a top shelf artist, PoleVault.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I just do it, and I hope for the best. Don't
we all?
I make these sounds, and they make me feel a certain way, and I hope when I put them out that they make other people feel some way.
It's all about feelings. Let's say hello to these people who are here. There's 41 of them. 41, and you were saying to me, I hope somebody turns up.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
They can't all be your mum. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We've got your mum under the name Son of Snake, Ali, your mum under the name Ali, your mum under the name of Live to Fly channel. We can go on. Leela Verse, Brenda has to go to sleep. Hugh Caldwell's in the house. Just type something in the chat so I can find your name, folks. Live to Fly. Shelley's here. Lizard Day's rocking on through. I think I clicked there she is. Urban. I saw Russ. I saw Laurie's Mishmosh. Who else I'm trying to find? Let's scroll up and see if I can find Forest of the Wolf. Who else? Ali. Both Allies are here. Gary Hubbs is in the house. Chris Lane Sr. Dom Torregrossa, he's fronting. So Ed Zielinski is in the house. Of course, this guy, Chad Freeman's here.
No, there went the party.
We won't mention Chad. Russ is here throwing turtles in the chat. That's a private joke. I'm actually forbidden to talk about the turtles today. Guzzo of Oz, hello. Who else? Semtex Cows, putting cows in the chat. Of course, G-May. The whole gang is here. Ed Bemedal. Joanna's here, giving us something. Hello. I know I've missed a bunch of you, and there's Dom, he's always fronting from now on, that's the joke. Sunshine's here amazingly still, because she's doing work and junk.
Yeah, work.
And of course, the beautiful Justine Kasprick is here as well. Love you, Justine.
Big hugs.
And who else have I got? Have I got most people? If you want me to call your name, do the thing, and I'll do the thing. But if I missed you, then I'll come back and I'll do the thing at some other thing. Front says Leela.
Can you call my name and go like this?
PoleVault's here, my favorite person. Hang on. PoleVault, PoleVault, hello. I saw speaking of Mr. Smith, I saw earlier as well too. So there you go. I think I got most of you. See, and well, I said during the call out and everybody left. There we go. Call outs don't work anymore. All right, let's talk about this stuff. So were you a bully in, no, what was I going to say? Were you bullied in school or were you a bully in school?
Okay. I had one of my friends tell me, I don't know why I'm calling people my work friends, but one of my friends told me the other day I was a bully.
Right.
Because I grew up in school and I was small and I got bullied up until the 5th grade. And I mean, just really bullied. Like if you wanted to beat somebody up, I was the person to beat up. Then over the summer, I grew about a foot and I came back to 6th grade and I just started beating the hell out of every bully. And to this day, when I see someone getting bullied,
Right.
I had this tendency to want to jump on that bully really bad. And my friend told me, but that just makes you a bully too. And I'm like,
kind of.
Yeah.
But kind of like a Robin Hood bully.
Yeah, but I associate with that person who's being bullied, and I'm like, there's just no need for that shit, you know, that you don't know what that person's going through, that you're bullying there, and you know, and stop that shit. Here's what it feels like, you know. And then they were like, but you don't know what the bully was going through. You know, fuck you, bully. You know, hitting people and stuff.
See, I can't see you as a bully unless it's Chad, but because I look at you like a gentle giant. You are to me, from my time knowing you, and I watch your show and I watch everything you do, and you're just a very gentle, kind giant with a mind that's in the toilet.
Yeah. Not the toilet.
Well, a clean toilet. Like,
better.
You know, it's not. There's no skids, no nothing.
Yeah, like
clean,
sanitized,
shiny.
Like paper strips.
Yeah,
paper strips on it. Yeah.
Do you use toilet? What? Let's just do it. Do you use toilet paper, a bidet, or bum wipes?
Wow. I use toilet paper.
Right.
I've traveled the world a lot. Don't want to do it anymore. I hate it. It's really crazy because I love people so much and I hate people so much. It's a really weird. I'm a complex creature, but I just don't want to travel the world anymore. But I did have a toilet squirt me in the ass one time, and I was surprised. So I didn't want to do that anymore. It was like pretty high pressure, but
Are you sure that was a toilet?
Well, it could have been. I think I think I was in Spain. Oh wow, that went down the opposite direction. You're in Australia.
Do you know that's not real?
What? No. Oh no.
I know it was on The Simpsons, but it's
Jade.
Not true.
No, Jade. We've had shows about this.
It's not true.
We've had chats and what?
I'll send you a video of my toilet.
No, because I didn't believe it, and then they got me to believe it.
Yeah.
I still don't know how you're not falling off the planet over there and stuff.
We have very strong shoes.
Oh, there you go. It like kind of like moon boots and stuff.
Oh man, remember? Why do they not make moon boots anymore? Weren't they? Anyone put a 1 in the chat, folks, if you owned a pair of moon boots.
Because they're too cool. I mean, Ace Frehley, he had, you know, those are the ultimate moon boots. You know, that's where you want to be in life, especially when you do have the disco fever, as I do.
Yes,
you know, it's going around.
Now I feel like I should do disco fever as well.
Well, I feel disco is coming back.
Disco comes back every 20 years. We've got a few ones. Jenny, Leela, Son of Snake, Ali, Tremor Bear, all moon boot wearers. Wow.
I'm one of the few people that will admit that I like all kinds of music, and I was not. I like I would my friends would be surprised because I can sit down and listen to Metallica and then turn around and listen to the Bee Gees. So I love the Bee Gees. They're cool.
I love the Bee Gees too.
Right. Robin Gibb is just like a a master of writing songs and wrote so many songs for so many people. And then the Bee Gees, and I mean, like Grease was wrote most of those songs wrote
Yeah,
by
Saturday Night Fever.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, that's me. I'm walking down the street.
Did
Yeah.
you want to be John Travolta when you were middle teen? PoleVault? Hang on, no, you would have been younger than that.
No, maybe.
Maybe
It depends on which John Travolta you're talking about.
not
Benny
the weird one
Barbarino.
now.
Yeah. Benny Barbarino. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I
Mate,
mean,
oh, you know what I'd love to see, PoleVault? You and Sunshine do a show where together you sing the entire catalogue of Grease 1.
yeah.
Come on.
I don't. It was so hard for me to get her on camera. It's so hard for me to get her on camera.
Right.
It is really, she is a stickler for how things are going to go and want to go. The only thing that doesn't matter to her is the thing that matters the most to me is the sound. I'm like, hey, no, we got to do the sound thing. And she's like, oh no, look, get the hair and the lights and look at me, I'm pretty. And you're like, oh.
I somehow think it's the opposite way around.
No, oh yeah, it's me that wants to look pretty.
I
think anybody that's seen my Saturday show where I wake up, and that ain't even a show. That's me pushing, like, okay, oh, fuck, I'm awake. Watched shows all last night. Did you see that shit last night? Oh wow, I'm very strung out, and I how's that even happen? You know what it is? I'm waiting on Sunshine to get ready to go out, and we go estate sailing and eat pizza. And it takes her all the time I'm doing my show is how long it takes her to get ready. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh God, what?
This is not going to help you. You're going to get in trouble after this if you keep going.
No. I know what Michael Jackson felt like with Quincy Jones, okay, and Joe Jackson. I don't like it. Some of our best songs that we ever did, we argued all the and outside of making music, me and Sunshine get along really well. But for some reason, when we come together to make the music, it's one of those kind of things where we both want the best product and product. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
But we have different ideas. And then as soon as I push post, she's like, that was great. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
So let's go we're back at school. So, we've heard your bully arc. Was music a thing that was offered at your school? And were you interested in it at such a young age? And did they force you to put the recorder in your mouth?
No, but
no.
I actually talked. It was a long time ago. I don't think they'd invented the recorder yet or something. We have one here. We have one here in the studio. We have probably 3 here in the studio. Sunshine plays the flute and the recorder and stuff. But we actually have like this really expensive one. Have you ever seen an expensive recorder? That was crazy.
Yeah, fucking recorders are serious business.
Right, but I begged my high school. I was like, you know what? You could change my life if you would just put a guitar in the band. Okay, but I was in ag. Here we call it FFA, Future Farmers of America and stuff. And I probably learned more in there about what my real life entails and work than I would have any other class. But I was the troubled child back in high school. I think I had my own apartment when I was like I think 15 or 16 years old. So it got wild quick. So it wasn't like I had a lot of chance to do a lot of things that some of the younger generation went through, or some of like my friends are like, I'm going to the prom.
Right.
I'm like, oh well, okay. My first wife, this is a great example. My
Okay.
first wife, they were, my friends were like, wow, are you doing things with her? Uh, yeah, yeah. I'm doing things with her, you know. But it was one of those things because my dad was a preacher and I'm listening to Iron Maiden and everything. And he was like, yes, buddy, if you think you could take care of yourself and all this so well, then you get out there and you do it. And I think his idea was I was going to like leave and then, you know, come back a couple hours later and be like, I couldn't make it. I need a hamburger. But but what happened to me is I took my Flying V guitar and laid on a park bench, and two sisters came up and were like, hey, what are you doing? You want to live in our house? I'm like, yeah. And then that was that, you know, I was off to the races. I mean, you know, they're just another example of music. Okay. Music wins the day.
so, so did you have a love for an instrument at school? And did you have visions of a musical instrument you wanted, or was it singing that took over first?
It was always me and my cousin. The kids at school actually called us Zoo Boys, and it was because this hard rock station in our town was called the Zoo, and we wore the shirts from that rock station all the time. But everybody associated me and him. Remember, I'm playing Breaking the Law. He had the Stratocaster, and I had the Flying V, and so that was that's what we're, and it changed our lives. It really did. It really did. It went from like, hey, in middle school, it wasn't cool to be cool or whatever, you know, but then in high school, the girls noticed that the older girls were like, oh my God, those two right there are playing the guitar, playing the same song at the same time. Oh my God, they look just like Judas Priest, you know, and then the girls that grown up with us was like, oh my God, like the older girls in this school are liking them. We like them now too. So very fickle stuff.
What about the first band name?
Uh
Oh,
uh it was a problem child, and you can probably know the influence of that, and
clearly.
there might be actually one of them in the chat right now, but are watching. I'm sure one of them's watching. And the thing is it was so cool. Thank God for Whom the Bell Toes. It taught us timing, you know, that little break, dun it, boo, dun, dun. And we could all actually get together on that song. The other songs we would try to do we would everybody was everywhere. Once again, at that time in our country's history or whatever, all you had to do is make noise and have some long hair, and you know, you were doing stuff. And I was but like I said, we were caught into a genre of music at the time. You know, it was going to be the Iron Maiden, Dio, Black Sabbath, Metallica era that was always going to dictate what we were playing, and and our 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 originals were probably just, you know, just uh, uh you take all those bands and you smash them up to the easiest thing that we could all hit time on, and that was what we were doing, you know. And I remember one time we were playing in a shed in the backyard, and this guy comes over and hits the door, starts sawing on the door with a chainsaw, and he's like, shut up. he had no idea that like 5 of us was going to walk out. And it was really weird. That was a weird day because like you would have thought that the 5 of us was going to beat him up or something. But the drummer came out and told him that his wife was cheating with this other guy, and he started crying and he left. So, there's that. That happened. So he was like, why are you coming around here fucking with us? The drummer's the quietest guy of all of us. And he was like, why are you coming over here fucking with us? Wait, you know what? You know so-and-so down the street, every time you leave, he goes to your house. And the guy was like, it's not true. He's like, oh, it's true. It's true. And you can hear your wife screaming all over the neighborhood. And he was like, no, and ran away. And I was like, there you go. Well, more than one way to deal with stuff, I guess.
This interview is going exactly as I expected it to go.
Yeah. Well, stuff happens, Jade. That's real stuff right there,
It's stuff happens. And Junk, let's play some music. This is Moonlight Flows Tonight by PoleVault. Are you ready to grab your ankles? I don't give a shit if you are or not. Just grab them now.
You know they ain't ever gonna make moonshine flows tonight. The moonshine flows tonight. Yeah. The moonshine flows tonight. The moonshine flows tonight. Forget about the problems you cannot solve. Don't ever get yourself involved, because the moonshine, yeah, the moonshine flows tonight. The moonshine flows tonight. Well, the moonshine flows tonight. The moonshine flows tonight. The moonshine flows tonight. The moonshine flows tonight.
Moonshine. Moonshine flows tonight. Welcome back, everybody. It is that time of the show where, well, you know what it is? We run an ad because I'm not sponsored today, so we have to do a YouTube ad. And we've got to get in as many YouTube ads as we can before all the weirdos get over here from TikTok. They'll be here soon. So if you want to avoid the ad, you can become a YouTube Premium subscriber or just sit and watch the ad and we'll wait for you to come back. The ad has been run. You may or may not get an ad. While we're waiting for those people who did get an ad, this week on the opening hour, I need to let you know this is happening. Can I do this? There it is. There it is. We're going back to the 80s this week. I'm going to see a whole bunch of 80s songs and take some time off from yelling Mr. Bungle and weird shit. So that's happening this week. Plus, there's a whole bunch. There's 2 shows that will drop later on today, demos of some sound packs and stuff like that. All right, let's get our guest back on here and continue on with the show. Thank you all to all the new people who've joined us as well, Pookie and CQ and Martin, and there's heaps of you who have joined, but thanks for being here. PoleVault, welcome back. Tell us about that song. I love that. That's one of my favourite songs. It's very
Okay.
On the day that we lost David Lynch, it very much reminds me of a David Lynch thing.
Well, what happened with that song, and I don't. If you ever think of good ideas for a song and you can't, like, get them down, I can never get them down. So, and I get them like while I'm laying in bed getting ready to go sleep or something. But on this particular one, I had the plague and I was running a high fever, and I was having a fever dream about that song, and I got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and walked in the studio, sat down and did pretty much the whole thing in one take, made the video, got up, was getting the chills, went back and wrapped myself in a blanket, woke up the next morning, and I'm like, wow, I got a lot of responses on my YouTube. Oh shit, I made a video last night, and it was that video. And so I was really out of my mind when I made that. So that's how that happened. Yeah.
PoleVault metal was a thing for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It's your roots, shall we say?
Yeah. And I don't mention this very much, but Dallas was a hotbed for metal at the time, and the bar that I frequented, matter of fact, there was a seat in the bar at the bar, and people would be I'd be like, hey man, you're in my seat. And they'd be like, is your name on it? I'd be like, look at the seat. They'd be like, damn, okay, let me get up. It does have your name on it. And it was known for any coin, any drink, but it was no big deal to hang out with Dimebag Daryl. It
Mm,
was no big deal to hang out with King Diamond at this bar.
mm.
No big deal. And the thing, and I don't know if they could have got away with this at a different time and era, but I mean, we realized they're just people and they're cool people, and we didn't talk about their music or anything. I played pool with King Diamond at a place called the Vampire Lounge. I used to hang out, and Dimebag Daryl would go behind the counter and start serving drinks. That's when they got good. And I mean, I was really happy to be alive at that time because I seen some things that, I don't know that it could ever happen again. You know, like the first time they played Psycho Holiday live, Pantera was played it at that bar, and the lights went out in the bar, and we thought, what in the hell? Because we're watching Pantera on this little stage at the basement, and the lights go out, and the lights come back on, and Dimebag is standing on this little bitty circle table in the crowd, way up in the seats, and he's standing up on the thing, and he starts going into Psycho Holiday. And you can imagine we were tearing the walls off, and
Yes,
at
as you do.
little club. And I mean, I seen Dirty Rotten Imbeciles there. I saw, and all those bands were, it wasn't mainstream, so they would come through these little bars. Now you had to go to these big venues, and I still love to go down to the little local bars and see a metal band. It's just, it's just like adrenaline.
What do
I
you
don't
think of the reformation of the new Pantera with their new guitarist? Have you heard it?
Yes, I have. I really do like Zach Wild a lot, and
I don't think he suits
and
it.
well, they're different, and to say this is just crazy. It's saying it's a different style from Dimebag Daryl, even though he's playing the songs
It is
and he's
very
doing it
different.
respectfully. There was Dime just made sounds that you just cannot go out there and just
Yeah.
grab off a shelf, and even Zach Wild, just guitar god, Dime didn't. One of the things about Dimebag Daryl was he didn't give a fuck.
Yes.
And I mean, I can tell you this personally. I know he did not give a fuck. Did you know he was one of the first ones to say, hey, let's not, because they were a glam band. And he was like, I'm just wearing my regular clothes and coming like I normally do. And it started a whole genre of people saying, you know what? Why are we putting on spandex and stuff? And I do like assless chaps, but and I'm down with the spandex and stuff, but it was so yeah, it was so refreshing at the time to see some guys just come in off the street in their regular clothes and kick ass and walk off the stage. It was so, because they looked just like the people that were in the crowd,
True.
and we could relate, you know, and that was and it started catching on,
Well, as soon as they changed that, because I remember seeing the Pantera albums when I was young, the first two albums, and going, what the fuck?
yeah,
What is this tiger? What is this Tiger Tales? What's going on?
yeah.
But as soon as
I mean,
they changed they were stars. They were absolute stars. I met Dimebag in Sydney. We were in King's Cross and we were out drinking, and he was very drunk. And
yeah,
we were searching for whores because sex work is legal in Sydney and in Australia. And yes, and I think he ended up with a few.
well, right. Well, but he was a super nice guy, but I mean, he did party a lot. I
Yes.
mean, last time me and Sunshine seen him, we were at a place called the Galaxy Club, and we came across him, and it was right before, the incident. And, I mean, right before, and, and, I drank whiskey a lot, and I got to where I couldn't, the smell of tequila would make me puke. And me and Sunshine are sitting there, and he was like, and this asshole comes up and he's like, "Hey, Dime, this guy says he knows you." And if you're out there watching it, you know what you did. And I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy. If Jade Starr is doing a show, for me to sit over at the bar and say, "I know Jade Starr. I'm like pals with Jade Starr." Okay, why would I do that?
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
And you know, like I'm name dropping, and then that person goes gets you, brings you over and says, "Hey, Jade, this guy says he knows you." But you know what? Don was cool, just like probably Jade would be. Was
Mm,
like, "Oh hell, PoleVault, dude. Hey,
wow.
wait. Everybody whiskey and coke for PoleVault." And he whispers something in the
Unless I had a
waitress's.
restraining order.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. And he whispers something in the waitress's ear, and when it comes down, he's like, "Down the hatch." And I took my shot, and my shot was the only one that was tequila. And he knew that hey, my whole mouth went, and I had to walk outside the bar and around in the corner in the back alley just to puke.
Nice. What a memory.
Yeah, yeah, it was a memory. That was what that was.
How did you meet?
But
I need to know this. All right, I'm bouncing around now. How did you meet
Mhm.
Sunshine Archer?
Well,
Remember,
she was
she's in the
working.
chat.
Yeah. She was working at she was like a teacher at a school, and I was friends with some of the teachers at school,
Mm-hmm.
and because they came to the bar where I was, and they introduced me to her, and I, I will tell you at that time, PoleVault was used to getting what he wanted, like first date stuff,
Right.
and
Rehypnol?
Sunshine. Yeah, no. I was in a band.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yes.
You know,
Virtual Rehypnol.
but Sunshine played hard to get for like 6 months. I can't tell you how many
Wow.
times I told her. I can't tell you how many times I told her, I'm not doing this anymore. I took her to Danzig. I took her to White Zombie. And she was like, okay. And one time she came in and looked into my apartment, and I had like a bachelor pad. And she was going to come into the apartment, and she looked in my apartment. She's like, "I'm not coming in there." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, I see what your apartment looks like, and anyone that would come in there, they know what's going to happen. I'm like, "What? What is that even supposed to mean?"
Wow.
She said it. She said it. She said it. But you know, that's how that happened. So you know,
How long have you
and
two been together, PoleVault?
now she'll give you to the day, because I guess
All right.
it's
I
like
know you're not going
like
to get it right.
like a prison. She's marking the days.
Yeah.
Well, we disagree. Okay. I kind of take from the time that we started living together
Yep.
till now, and like we disagree on everything, but and she takes from the day that we were in a church and she said, "I do."
Okay.
So, but it's 30 years to me.
Right.
To her, she'll tell you it's 27 days. I mean, 27 years and 3 months, 2 days. But like I said, she's like marking it on the wall or something. I
A
don't know.
stickler for facts.
Yeah. And that's another thing you will notice. I surround myself with people that will argue with me over every damn thing I do. So I don't know. I guess I'm on both sides. We must be gluttons for punishment, because, well, I'll say like, wow, that was a great cheeseburger. And she'll be like, well, it was a Swiss cheeseburger. I'm like, it was a cheeseburger still, but it was a Swiss cheeseburger. So it was a Swiss cheeseburger. Okay, but it was still a cheese. And we will sit there and have that argument for an hour. But the thing is I find that being married to Sunshine, someone who is just like you is boring sometimes. and to each their own. To each their own. But she does, and she does everything with me though. I mean, she's in music with me. She goes fishing with me. I'm in the gaming industry. She's gamed with me. We played World of Warcraft for years. We got caught on that, and she played that with me. Um, and that's a cool thing when your significant other has the same interest as you do and stuff. It makes life a lot better because you don't have to deal with like shitty friends and stuff because friends are fickle. She was there.
I've been watching your channel for a long time, and there seems to be a point of contention as people seem to think that you treat Sunshine Archer poorly. And we're going to put it to bed today, and we're going to run a poll. All right, so folks, the poll is up. Does PoleVault treat Sunshine Archer poorly on live streams? It's in the hands of the people today. Okay, so you can give your answer. The floor is yours. Give your answer, but the people will decide your fate.
Okay. Well, and it's just like this, Jade. You know what happens on the show is not what happened backstage.
Right.
And I will say, hey, Sunshine, it would be a really, really great time for like you to come, up before hey, I got to vote on this real quick. No. but she'll be like she'll come in right before the show, and I'm like, we haven't done a sound check yet, and she'll be like, hey, by the way, I'm going to like sing a song, and I'll be like, oh no, we got the mic for that, and a lot of people don't know the things that go on behind the scenes to make these shows. Right. And it's not as easy and simple. And when you throw a curveball into it, it can kind of get out there. And, and then she does stuff like, the laugh tracks and stuff that she has on her mix board. It comes through kind of okay through there, but through my headphones, it is like being hit in the head with a baseball bat. And but the thing is it is to a degree a stick that we do. I would tell you probably right now my best friend on the planet is Chad Freeman, but don't tell him that.
No.
But the thing is if you seen us around each other, you would be like, those two hate each other.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with me and Sunshine. We're always poking each other, poke, and it's like I can't explain it, Jane. We're masochistic. I don't know.
So I don't think so. I think I think it's all part of the shtick. Am I pulling the curtain back way too far here?
Yeah, no. It's like Ricky and Lucy.
Right. Without the
Lucy, you did it again. You got me.
It's like the honeymooners without the extreme violence.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, there's some extreme violence, Jade. We were talking to Lori's Mishmash the other day, and I was sitting on the toilet. And I'm just gonna say, I'll try to clean it up for your show. I was doing number 2. Okay.
Nice.
We had a sleet storm, not a snowstorm, a sleet storm, and Sunshine makes a ice ball that she's calling a snowball. She kicks open the bathroom door, kicks it open where it rips off the freaking door, where the door jamb goes through, and throws this at me. And when I see the door, I pull up, and she somehow still managed to smack me right in the balls while taking a dump with an ice ball. I call that violence. I'm just saying. That happened. And she but when she seen it hit me, she was like, because I didn't go, oh, you get out of here. I was like, falling off the toilet and stuff like you just killed me. And she was like, oh, was that like hard? I'm like, you better run. Cause I think she got in the car and went to Walmart or something, because I was like going outside. Oh, we're going to have a ice ball fight now, but she knew.
Robbie
But,
says that was way too much information, Robbie.
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
okay, Robbie? Can somebody give Robbie a hug in the chat?
Well, I usually have I know Pookie was here earlier. She's probably at work right now,
She
but
is.
she is she is my TMI filter.
Right.
When I start going off into that field, I usually see Pookie's like, okay, pull up. So you're on the lines to pull back. We know that your finger poked through the toilet paper, but we don't need to know anymore. It's fine. Stop. I'm like, oh, okay. Get off this story.
Man.
Yeah.
Speaking of poking your finger through toilet paper, let's play the next song. This is called Decay, featuring Sunshine Archer. Is it?
Look at this. Wait, Jade.
All right.
Okay. I consider Sunshine as a part of the thing that we call pole vault.
Yes.
Okay, like part of the band, but she still is like featuring Sunshine Archer. Remember that when you're out there voting.
54% yes so far. We're going to close it after this song, folks. So get your votes in when we play this. This is Decay by PoleVault, featuring Sunshine Archer. Beautiful stuff. That's,
Well,
yes.
that album, that particular album has not one word on the whole album, and I was having trouble singing. I mean, not singing, sleeping. And the album's name Insomnia, and it doesn't follow the lore of Pole Vault, but it was made for people that have a problem sleeping, and you can come in and listen to that album. And all my albums are free on YouTube, the videos and everything. I'm just trying to infect people with it, you know. But you can listen to that album and not. I felt like if we put one word into the album, it could break you out of like the clutter. Like I just came home. Well, I just came home. I want to relax, lay back, and just listen to some soothing music that, you know, has nothing in it that makes me think at all. Just float. The whole album's about like having like out of body experience and just floating out of your body for just a little while and relaxing. So yeah, that was that.
We're going to get into the concepts and stuff very shortly. So the poll has closed. I can't find the results. 53% say yes, you treat Sunshine Archer poorly.
Well,
Now-
I guess they probably probably think Ricky Ricardo treated Lucy poorly too. And Ricky
And-
was the victim there.
And Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, he was a good guy too.
I probably should have watched the movie. I seen like parts where he was huffing shit and stuff.
Mommy. Yeah. How the fuck did you find this music community that we have here on YouTube?
G-May.
G-May.
And yeah, and it popped up in my feed, and it was like, you know, live, and it was like when things were just starting to go live, and I'm like, oh, here's a live show, live music show, and I only had like 50 subscribers at the time, and the first person I saw on there was Folk and Blueser, and I was like, this is kind of cool, and yeah. And then I saw the music community there, and I'll leave some of that out, but I saw some of the music community there, and I was sitting there, and one of the shows just said, hey, this person's in the chat, and here is their video, and here's their song, and I'm like, wow. And then all of a sudden I never looked back after that. It was just like, you know, more and more. And then Wes, Rich New Design, was sitting there one night, and he was like, hey, if anybody wants to come up, and nobody was coming up. And I was like, dude, I like this dude. He is so funny. And I was like, pushed live. Next thing you know, I was on there. And the thing is they're very supportive. This community is very supportive and very nice people, and they help you a lot. And that's why I tried to tell other musicians, you know, it's a very good place. Like about 2 weeks ago, I had Mr. Smith, Jade, Starr, and Valerie Bott help me with my sound all in 1 week. And that's really cool. That is really, really, I mean, that shows what this community is about, you know. And I think one of the things that keep us this dysfunctional family together is that we all have a common love for music, you know, and everybody in this community influences my music. I mean, if I see something that I like that Jade Starr's playing, I'm not going to copy that, but it's influenced what I'm going to do. I mean, just like, you know, some people will say, you sound like this or you sound like that. And I'm not trying to copy those people. It's just that they were, I would say, Pink Floyd and Nine Inch Nails and all those people influenced, you know, what I'm putting out. And I don't leave this music community out of that. I hear take flavors from all over the place and put it into how I'm feeling at the time.
You are right. It's an amazing community, and I say it all the time. so many communities break down and are irreparable. And again, even if there are things that happen, I'm always confident that this community bounces back, and we have many times, right?
Yeah.
Because it is about music, and when it's focused on that, then everything's good. Whenever you're focused on other things, things get derailed. But that's anything in life. And some of the things I've seen in this community in the many years I've been in it has been amazing. The support, people have bailed people out financially and fucking always at shows, always supportive, helping people out with sound issues, collaborating, you name it. It's been done. It's forever inspiring, and it really is wonderful. And it feels like this year's going to be a really good year for this community. There's something in the air at the moment that's there's something.
I feel it, and I hate to say it, because I've taught my kids that music is people's macaroni art, and I'm not saying anything about the corporate macaroni art, because like I really dig Miley Cyrus. Her voice is amazing, but when she stays on top of the charts for like 2 years with the same song, you're like, something's gone stale and cookie cutter, and I think a lot of people are coming to independent music to find something new and to hear something fresh, and we're doing that, and even the artists that are that are doing covers, it's like, okay, this new generation probably hasn't heard what they're playing, and it revives them, and like I said, it just gives me I won't name any names, but I've got some followers that are too young to watch some of the stuff I say and do, but it gives me really big hope when I see new musicians and old musicians, because me and Sunshine, we really didn't get into this until our kids were out of the house, and look at us. We're up in the years, and we're living like we're like teenagers and stuff, and it's music keeping us going.
Yeah, true. Let's focus on the negative now. You and Chad Freeman, tell us the origin story, how it got to the point that it's at now. Where is it repairable?
The thing about it is Jade, there's going to be evil in this world, okay? and I'm that never-ending optimist that is hoping one day that Chad can redeem himself and not be evil, but it's just like, it's just like digging out of a sand hole. The more you try to like say, Chad, don't be evil, the more sand comes in on top of you. And so sometimes you just got to lay back and say, Chad, don't be evil. But really, no, the thing is with me and Chad is we've been on a lot of shows together, and we got the same war scars, and that makes
feel that.
It's kind of like going to war with someone, and you go into battle with this person. You're like, I really don't like that person. He's an asshole. But when you've been in the trenches so many times, you realize, hey, you're not so bad. Even though you're evil, Chad, you're evil.
I always get concerned with somebody who's so much into love, positivity, and peanut butter. And Chad has all those things in spades. So I'm dubious. I keep him at an arm's distance.
Well, the thing is you got to keep the bad touch doll with you at all times, and you're like
what? Oh God!
Can I show you the bad touch doll?
Please. Let's show everyone the bad touch doll.
Okay. So, and there's certain areas that you shouldn't touch, right?
Yes.
And Chad is always going there. So I'm like, all right, Chad, don't touch here. Get your goddamn hands off of me. Get your goddamn hands off of me right now, PoleVault. Okay. Maybe I won't show you. Maybe I won't show you the bad touch doll, but Chad knows not where to touch people now.
I'm glad, because it was concerning for a long time. He would come into the chats, and I didn't know whether to warn people.
But to be honest, sometimes like I've gotten scared sometimes when his positivity comes off. I'm like, don't y'all break Chad, because I mean it does because he does do all this positivity junk and stuff, and I'm like, just okay, Chad, enough. But he keeps it going, and the thing is it's good when you got someone like me around to have some like positivity. It can't always be like this, but it you he almost has this naive look at the world, which I'm thinking, because I see the world as all evil. Chad thinks it's all good.
Yes.
So and I don't want him to not think it's all good, because we need some people in the world that thinks it's all good.
We do, don't we?
Sunshine thinks the world's all good. I believe me, when she goes to an auto mechanic, it's like, okay, your transmission's blown, lady. Your transmission's blown. And then I walk in and they're like, oh, you need air in your front tire. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. That's freaking what I thought. No, I live that way.
The world is a bad mechanic.
Yeah, it is.
Waiting to dupe you.
Well, and there's so many things that's that way nowadays, that you go in, you're like, hey, my computer needs to be formatted and reloaded, and they're like, oh no, your hard drive's dead. You're like, okay, no, that didn't happen. But it is a shame that the world is evil, but we need to make sure that we still have a lot of people around that thinks it's all positive.
Of course. Let's talk some music, because now Thomas Christ has the record of albums released. I think it's either 18 or 19. But you are climbing up underneath Thomas's backside very closely with 14 albums. Now, when you started this caper, did you envision that you would have that vast catalogue of albums? And how quickly does stuff flow out of you to, God, that could be taken so many ways, to make,
kind of squirt sometimes.
Right. Sometimes runny, okay.
More when I was younger.
Right. So here they all are. Now, you can find all these on Bandcamp. And if you're on YouTube, they're attached to your YouTube channel, because you use DistroKid, and you're able to do that with DistroKid, even though they're not sponsoring the show. So, and tell us, did you...
DistroKid's really cool, Jade. DistroKid
I
is
agree.
really cool. I have old band people that are like, how do you handle all this shit? How do you handle this? How do you handle the medias and the and all that and the copyrights? I'm like, I pay DistroKid and they handle all that shit for me. There you go.
It's very easy. So, so
it's worth it.
Look at all this material. How easy is it for you to put out an album? What's the concepts behind your album? Give us like the elevator pitch for, I guess, genre. What is PoleVault's music in your opinion?
I don't know. But the thing is there's a storyline to my albums.
Yes.
Which makes them make themselves. Okay.
Right.
And even the last album, The Reluctant Prophet, is about me and about how, and you see the angel sitting there whispering in my ear as I'm writing the songs out. So it's almost like the storyline is writing itself. And I don't want to like freak people out, but it almost seems like the Fisher character is pushing me to write the albums, and the albums are like the story of her life, which is, I mean, PoleVault's weird, Yes. And it's weird. It's weird because the people that were already on the train when I was making the first couple albums hadn't seen me. And you wouldn't think that, this crazy hillbilly IT technician was writing songs about, this succubus life. But the thing is I remembered even though like Pink Floyd was writing songs about, Sid Barrett, people were equating those songs to themselves because they're not following the storyline. So the songs had to still be relatable in other senses. I've had people say, "Oh my goodness, is everything okay, PoleVault? Or are you and Sunshine getting along?" And I'm like, it's about the storyline of the albums.
It's
But
hard when you do concept albums. Like, would you class your music as concept based mostly?
Yes, and some of my influences like the Beatles and stuff, and King Diamond and everything, and Pink Floyd. I did put hidden messages, and I still do it every now and then. And I know that the people on YouTube now are probably not going to ever go back and turn their albums backwards and stuff. But it's really sad because like after artists die, they usually get popular and famous then. And I can see, in 50 years after I'm gone, I can see some people saying, "Wow, did you turn that PoleVault album, the sixth album, backwards?" It's saying like one of the albums, it was saying that in backwards, it was saying I've died. And the followers were and the listeners were all still like, "Wow, I hope he doesn't die." But it was predicting what was going to happen on the next album. And in the background, you wouldn't think like, it's like it's something, when you turn something around, it turns like,
a regular Nostradamus. So you predicted that you were going to die.
No. I was predicting that character, she was going to die.
Yes.
But the thing is he's in hell at the time.
Right.
You're like, he can't get out of hell. And at the end of the album, because of my listeners influencing me, I remember, matter of fact, Pookie was like, "I hope he's okay." And I'm like, "Oh shit. I've got to dig this guy out of he's dead. Okay, how am I going to get out of this?" And he tells the succubus at the end he loves her. And so she resurrects him, but he ends up, when he comes back, he's in a mental institution and they're telling him she's not real. And then on that album, he goes to the cemetery where she's buried and digs her up. It's your everyday love songs and stuff.
So are you saying that can anybody jump in at any time to any one of these albums in any order, and will they get lost?
Well, they could jump in at any time, but like I said, it's one of those things. If you're just listening for music and you're listening to music, and you don't care about the storyline, you would think that this was about relationships, and
Right.
it'd be like, wow, this is a tragic love song,
Right.
that they're making. But if you follow the storyline of the albums, you'll be like, "Oh my goodness, Fisher is with Nick now," and Nick, which is the devil, never wanted Fisher until she left, and when she left, and a lot of people can relate to these relationships. Like, this woman was, the guy never wanted the woman until she left, and now he wants her. And as soon as he gets her back, he doesn't want her anymore, and all this. And I'm just basically putting love stories into like religious tag format and stuff. I guess that's from my upbringing or something. I don't know. I just figured that'd be wild.
I wish I had have called the show now "Son of a Preacher Man." I feel like I have to go back and change the name of the show now to that.
Well, and I hope one day that I could get the albums put to like a long form movie or something. I always thought that'd be cool because of the storyline, and have the music as maybe the soundtrack to the movie, like Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Yeah.
I'm so original.
This is something we talked about off air, and I know there's a lot of people who follow you and watch your content. I miss the days because, folks, before we move forward, all of the links to Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, all in the description. Go and support our artists. Go and buy something from Bandcamp, or, you know, go and stream some music, put it, you know, do it. Just do the things. But I want to talk about this too, because not only do you make great music, and I'm going to come back to music, I'm going to circle back, but you do shows, live streams on YouTube, and you've had many different forms of live streams. So at the moment you're doing the weekend show, we play people's music, but there's something I really miss. Now, you used to do a whole lot of comedy bits and skits on your show, and man, it was one of the things I really fucking love, because I would laugh my tits off. You're a very funny person, and will we see a return of skits and some of the characters that you had going in the near future, or is that long gone? Is that dead in the water?
No, but I hate to say I put any timetable on it, but I actually worked on a Todd video today. So
awesome.
I used to laugh making them.
Yeah.
There I think everybody has a Todd, Pete, and Sandra in their life, you know.
Yes.
You know, and the kiss your ass goodbye, you know, because I thought about it, and things hit me funny. Like they were showing these like nuclear fallout films, what to do if a nuclear bomb hits next to you. And I was like, they didn't realize you're gonna die. So that series was from the, you know, a public service announcement about kiss your ass goodbye, you know, because that's, and so when the kids would get on the floor and the people would get on the floor and put their head between their legs, and they were like, remember, this is the way you get out of nuclear fallout. And I was like, okay, I'm changing that to they're all kissing their ass goodbye.
It is essentially, it's you're fucked.
Yeah. I mean,
like, get under a desk, you're fucked.
And I remember one of them I made, and the guy's pointing to the air of the nuclear bomb coming, and he's like, look, it's time to run, duck, and cover, you know. But instead, my version was like, look, it's time to go kiss our ass goodbye. Yep, we better go kiss our ass goodbye right now, you know. And that's what we would do, you know.
We are strange creatures, like that. Yeah. I always remember, like, it was the 80s, man, where like nuclear was a thing, and there were all these instructional, even earlier than that. But I remember because of the 80s, and the film The Day After came out, and they were terrifying us. They're trying to scare us that all this shit was going to happen. And then you'd see these videos of like hide under a desk, and it's like, the fuck is that going to do?
Yeah. Well, you know, and not trying to get out on religion here, but at that time in my life, when we weren't hearing about nuclear bombs were going to fall on us from Russia, we would go to church later on, and they had done the math, and the rapture was coming tomorrow. And
yes, always tomorrow.
And Mr. PoleVault, you've done some bad things. I've done some bad things, Jade.
Yes, everyone has.
Well, the thing is
even Chad.
You know, yeah. Because I've had relations on a church bus coming back from a skating rink. Okay, you know.
I think everyone has.
You know. And back then I was like, oh no, if the rapture comes, I'm gone for sure now. Oh no. Well, I didn't mean to, but I'm always here. I had to do something. I'm sorry, and she started it. I don't know.
There's a YouTube channel I'm subscribed to. He's some preacher. I don't really watch it much, but he goes live. The only reason I'm subscribed is because the intro to his show every day is like, the end of the world is coming, and la la la, and it's so dramatic, and there's fire, and it's all hell, and then he's sitting there and he goes, hello everybody, and he's all happy and shit, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Well, and I mean, like, he's predicted it so many times, and it hasn't come yet.
Yeah, I was scared as hell. One time I went up in the middle of town, and it was a small town. It was the smallest county in Texas, and it was a very, very small town back in the 70s. And for some reason, it was up in the middle of day, and there was no cars, nobody anywhere. I couldn't see anybody in this small town as I'm going through the middle, and I was like, oh shit, it happened. It happened. I can't be surprised though. I'm still here. I'm not surprised at that, but well, guess it's time to start going in the stores and getting some candy or something. I don't know.
What can people expect if they subscribe to your channel in live streams? Because we're looking here, and I mean, you've got this new show that happens every Friday, US UK time, called the Weekend Warm Up. So it's one of the shows. But what can they expect outside of that? Because I'm looking here through your YouTube channel, and the word junk is used a lot in here. Is there a particular reason why the word junk is used? Do you frequent strange places for searching for junk?
Yeah. And I've gotten a whole lot of weird stuff. Me and Sunshine. So on Saturdays we have, there's life, Jade, and life is just shit. Sometimes we got bills and we got, we have 9 grandkids now, and 4 kids, and it's always something. So it's our equivalent of date night, but it's in the day, and it doesn't really cost that much at all. I mean, we never spend much more than like $20, but we get to go all over seeing stuff and going into different houses, and I've picked up just a lot of strange stuff. I mean, right now I got a African magical wand I bought for $5, and I may have to pay money, but they're on, it's on, one of them's like it on eBay for $2,500, and I bought it for $5, but I need to get it certified before I sell it. But and we find let's see, and I do it everywhere I go. I was where is that Triumph, Arch de Triomphe? Is that in France or in Germany? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I don't know where it is.
The Arch of, well, there's a like a flea market right at the base of it.
Right.
So when they first went into Syria, they were I guess they were looting stuff in Syria and bringing it into Germany and selling it. And yeah, that place. And I was down at the base of it, and there's a flea market, and I pick up this idol, and it's the same one that's okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think Gamescom is there. So I pick up this idol, and it's the same one that's on The Exorcist, and I pick it up and I show it to the dude, and I'm like, how much for this? And everything was expensive as hell. And he looked at it, and his eyes just went, hey, like, and it was the equivalent. I don't know what he told me, some kind of Frank shit or something. I don't know. I'm like, Terzo's not here, but it's like whatever money they were spending there, and it came out to be about $5 American. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, trying not to act excited. I give him the money, and he's like, okay, goodbye.
Oh God.
And I walk off with it, and I show my boss, because we're on the road, and I'm like, look at this. I just got this for $5. He's like, I know, we got this antiquity like guy here with us. It's going to tell you you're full of shit. You just wasted $5 on some little statue. He was like, he grabs it from me immediately and sticks it in his face. And he's like, what's this? And he goes, get that out of my face. Get it away from me. And I was like, oh, I told you it was worth some money. Yeah. So I mean, $5. I mean, can you imagine that, Jade? What must that have seen? Do
you have any advice for people who go junk hunting, or
yes.
What's your advice for people who go to, or we call them garage sales here, or you have always something different in America because you're Americans. But what's your advice? Know your product. So do you use your iPhone or your phone to like check things and
that would be good, but I don't do that.
You don't.
Look. Okay, Jade, you walk into a estate sale and you see a Gibson acoustic for $50,
right?
For $50. You buy that.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Okay, but I knew
estate sales
the
are
price.
different than garage sales. Because normally
Right.
the stuff is much more well looked after, and the person's just died. And
Right. And the whole house is for sale, and they have to
yes,
liquidate it. They
yes,
have to liquidate it before the end of the weekend. So
right.
everything leaves. And we go to a lot of them where they say they give you a trash bag and they say $5 and everything you can fit in that bag is yours. I went to a table with Rolexes on it and raked them into that bag. I'm not kidding you. But it was bad. It was bad because when I left, I could hear the lady screaming, "Oh my God, the jewelry table was not $5." And I mean Rolexes. I mean real
Yeah.
Rolex.
So,
And,
so I'm guessing you didn't walk out with all those Rolexes.
yeah, I did.
Oh.
I was already gone. I paid for it. It's mine. A lady called me. Hey, a lady called me about that wand. The wand I just got. She
Right.
said, "Do not mention," because I wanted to know the author's name. I called them, and it was a famous author that owned the wand. And I said, "Can I get his name?" And she's like, "I don't want you to mention me or the author's name. And sir, you could be in big trouble," because I told her it was worth some money. And she's like, "You could be in big trouble, and I could be in big trouble." And I'm like, "I'm in no trouble. I just bought this from you. Deal done. Goodbye." And if you know, whatever you got going on with them, that's your deal. But I'm outie 5,000. That baby's going to be on eBay, and I don't usually eBay stuff. It's not what I do. But I mean, come on, Jade. I'm PoleVault. Do you want to have a $5,000 wand sitting around me? I was using it for a back scratcher until someone was like, "Hey, PoleVault, that thing you got, you might want to be careful with. It's probably worth a lot of money." And that's happened twice now. I have a long guitar thing over here I was going to make into a bass. And they were like, "Hey, do you realize that that's like the Huns like guitar when like the Tilla Huns guys would die, when their horses would die, they would make a guitar out of the horse. And do you realize that's what you got in your hand?" Yes. And I got it sitting right over here next to me, and I was going to put a bass pickup in it and make it a bass out of it. And it looks like one of those sitars or something. I was calling it a shit tar. I was like, "Look at this shit tar. I'm going to make it into a bass." And they were like, matter of fact, it was Josh Harris. Josh Harris was like, "PoleVault, set it down and move back away from it. Move slowly back away from it. You've got something in your hands that's like, you know, only who knows." And then like 3 people were like, "Yeah, that's I forgot what the hell it's called now." But I got it sitting over on my guitar rack. So
The rumor has it that you got a Ouija board, and
no, I got rid of it. I finally got rid of it.
But something happened, didn't it? Something went down.
Yes. So we were on a show that
Right.
was we did this show Rabbit Hole, and me and Chad's on there, and Chad's great idea to because Pookie was stealing my snacks, and we wanted to find out who was stealing my snacks. And we got the Ouija board out and contacted Gigi Allen. And we were calling it the Gigi Ouija. And it was just a gag, okay? It wasn't like we were doing some ritual or something. It was just a gag, and I was moving it around on the board. But I got that board from an estate sale. I remember I was like, "How much for this? We're doing a show on these." The guy was like, take it. I should have known. So he didn't charge me anything. It's free.
Wow.
It's free. Take it. And I should have known.
Yeah.
Okay. And then all this bad shit from that day just started happening to me. Finally, my daughter was like, "Hey, I got this friend, and they want that Ouija board. They don't believe in anything, and they know all the shit. They've watched your show, and they want the Ouija board to put on their wall." And I'm like, done. So I don't have it anymore.
I just find it fascinating that out of all of the people you would contact would be Gigi Allen, a man known for smearing himself in his own feces, violence against women, hating heroin, and then dying from heroin.
It's me and Chad. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, we know Chad loves Gigi Allen. I love Gigi Allen as well.
Well, and it was he was real. whatever. I mean, you know, he
Totally.
wasn't hiding anything.
Yeah.
And I actually was amazed by because a lot of people that do gimmicks because their music sucks. But I don't say that. I didn't say that. Okay, but I'm just saying he was actually a talented person that I believe would have had probably a longer stint in music if he would have just said hello, but that wasn't him, you know.
Hello. Instead, it
Yeah,
was like,
hello.
hang on a minute. Let me poo in my
Yeah.
hand and rub it on my face like a monkey in a zoo.
Well, and most of what I seen from Gigi at the beginning is it wasn't that. I seen just beating the crowd,
Yeah, yeah. It
you
was
know.
violence at the start.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And
it would be funny watching people go to GG gigs and they're all brave at the start. They get at the front and they're like, I'm at the front. As soon as he hits the stage and throws a punch at them.
and bad. So
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, like
And
violent, man. They don't make
and,
rock
and
and
I,
roll like that anymore.
well, I think sometimes and I talked about Miley Cyrus earlier, and you know, I shouldn't say this, but I think some of the things that she had done at the time took away from her music, you know, because I liked her voice especially, and you know, there's no reason to do some of the things that she done that distracted from that, but it's fine. But the thing is here I am, and remember, I'm the kid out in the parking lot in the underwear doing Kiss. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
and I love Slipknot, and I love freaking Mushroom Head, and I totally dig it. I dig that. But what I'm talking about is probably more of rubbing poop on yourself, or you know, something like that. Maybe, you know,
Is there a future where PoleVault will rub poop on oneself?
the thing is my followers and my listeners, you know, they kind of dictate my next move a lot, and
So should we
and
do a poll?
but I do draw the line at rubbing poop on myself,
Good,
though.
good.
The thing is but you know, I have done on my page, I have done a jump dressed as Donkey Kong on a bicycle, and almost tore my nuts off on the bicycle seat, and I had a rant about it, because I'm like, who in the hell built bicycle seats like this? You know, I mean, wouldn't you think that a bicycle seat would be a little wider and comfortable? I mean, that thing was built to tear your nuts off.
I had a friend who had a bike and they removed the bicycle seat.
And
Well,
Well,
let me put it this way. They looked happy every time they were riding it.
went down the bumpy roads.
Yeah.
My son actually called me, and I forget, he was in the Middle East because he's in the military, and I hadn't heard from him in probably 2 months. And he called me and said, "Dad, pull up on the handlebars. I got to go." Because I went off the jump, and the front wheel went down, and when it hit, the seat came up under me, but it was because I was wearing a Donkey Kong mask. It's hard to see,
Yes, it is.
you know, as one will do.
Exactly. We are over time, and this has definitely been one exactly what I thought it would be.
It's just normal. It's just normal.
Exactly. And so I've got two more questions though, and then we're going to go out and play a song. What's next? What can we expect in 2025 from PoleVault?
I will tell you what we can expect from PoleVault. Me and Sunshine being on the same page. We know we've really talked about it, and we really want, because I hear this Jade person is going to be putting out some really electrifying shit, and this Smith and Hubs and Terzo and Het are going to be putting out some fire shit. And the bar's getting a little high out there, and it's time to put on your A game, because this is going to be a good year for all of us, and we're coming. This community's coming to kick your ass. That's what's happening for PoleVault this 2025.
Now
I'm a part of a group that's going to kick your ass. That's what's happening.
Now, I mean, we could go on for ages and keep talking, and but we should move on because, you know, a quick show is a good show. But what I'm going to say is, folks, if you have not subscribed to PoleVault, then I will hunt you down and make an example of you at the woodshed.
Is it? Oh, the spankings.
So here is.
You want to turn it back around? If you do subscribe to me, we're taking you to the woodshed. Spanking time. Spanking time.
The whipping post. PoleVault is at Dead PoleVault on YouTube. And PoleVault and Sunshine have a show every Friday on the channel, The Weekend Warm-Up, where they play your music. And from what I know, you roll up and you may get your music played. It's lots of shits and giggles, lots of fun, nothing too serious, but some good music always played. And, you know, it's just a wonderful place to go and hang out before the rest of the entertainment that happens on Friday. As I said, all of PoleVault's music can be found right here on Bandcamp, yes. So get over and grab something, go and send him a few bucks and do the right thing. I'm going to hit you now with our final question that we ask everybody who comes on the show. I don't even know what to expect for this. If you were giving advice, PoleVault, for somebody just starting out making music, being creative, whatever it is, even going to estate sales, when would be the best time for them to start?
Yesterday.
Oh, my troubles seem so far away.
But do us all a favor and keep it real. Just keep it real.
Yeah.
Don't do what you think other people want. Do what you want. And like me, you'll be surprised that other people like what you like too. So
yes.
And don't stop. Don't let people tell you. Especially the young people out there that were watching. If you watch this, you shouldn't have. But if you're watching, don't let anybody put you down. You keep on going. And doesn't matter what instrument you're playing. Sunshine Archer plays the flute, and she's all on nearly every album playing the flute. And who would have thought? If you're playing the tuba, you play the freaking tuba, and you keep doing that, and you be the first one to put tuba in rock music. You do what you do, and you be yourself, and just keep going.
I agree 100%. Do what makes you happy, folks. We are going to go out and now I ask every guest I have on to pick the first song and the last song of the songs that they sent me. Why did you pick I'm Breaking Today?
Well, this song, I had the plague again. I've had the plague a couple of times, and I had some bills come in. I had a hard day at the work, and I had the phone ringing, and I think everybody can relate to, you know, we all ride that fine line sometimes when you're just like, I am going to lose it, and this was about me almost losing it that day. And you know, and they'd been like, sir, why are you calling us on the phone and calling us Sunshine? We're your insurance company. Let me tell you another thing, Sunshine.
On that note, folks, also just a reminder, you'll be dumped over to this thing that's happening on the weekend. It's the opening hour Back to the 80s. Come and join me if you'd like to. Big day of entertainment, as always. You know, Thomas Christ, me, Pete Johns, and then G-May, because Brad's no longer doing shows at the moment till he gets to Australia, which is in March, to my house. So Brad will be here in March. Thank you, PoleVault, for coming and hanging out and sharing who you are a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just love the shit out of Brad. I love the shit.
So do I. I hope I still love him after 3 weeks. It is what it is.
Oh, it's gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be like Abbott and Costello up in there. It's gonna be some funny stuff.
It's gonna be wild. So let's go out, let's play this song. Remember, folks, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. Stay awake. Thank you, PoleVault. Stay on the line with me so I can say goodbye to you off the air. Folks, thank you all for being here today and supporting PoleVault and everything he does, because you guys make these shows happen. All right. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be sitting here talking a load of nonsense. So let's do it. This is I'm Breaking Today. See you later, my friends. Let's Oja.
echo